Good morning. Everyone's here for the student resources? Okay. I'm going to pass some papers out. These are just questions, general questions. I'm Janet Geddes. I'm a nurse at the college. Okay. So and then we'll go over some details about my office and we'll talk some more. Come on in. Come on in. I actually thought this group was being spoken to by somebody else. I was waiting out in the hallway until you guys finished. And I see some faces of people I spoke to yesterday. I think so. Okay. Okay, so you can take that over. Okay, so Janet Geddes, the Director of Health Services. I also teach in the nursing division on Saturdays because I'm crazy. But I love this age group and I love the students here. My office is up one floor, room 234. Nice and easy to remember. My hours, and this is on the sheet, my hours are from 8:30 to 4:30, from Monday through Friday. I'm full-time. I have a part-time nurse that works with me. I also have a physician on campus. Tuesday afternoon, and again, that's in the literature, Tuesday afternoon and Friday mornings. The one thing I hate to hear is when I meet a senior, and they see me, and they say, I didn't know we had a nurse on campus. Okay, first of all, you're one of the healthy ones. And second of all, how could you not know I'm here? I not only take care of sick students, I can help them with any kind of projects, research, anything.
Do the same thing.
I have a welcome program. So I want them to come see me whether they're sick or not. So when your student says, well, in high school, we went to the nurse and they gave us Tylenol. Or had them laid out, okay? Even if they did that. This is in high school. Please tell your student they can come to my office and what I will do is assess them, diagnose them, and treat them. And I have most medications in my office. If they need an antibiotic, I will give it to them. I hate to have students spend their money on medicines. Medicines are expensive, first of all. And I want to teach them why they're taking it and how to take it. You know, when they take Advil, make sure they have food in their stomach. So it's a learning time, a teachable moment. So tell your students, yes, the nurse can handle pretty much anything. And if I can't, I know what I can't do. I know my boundaries. I'll have them come back to see Dr. Wolfson. She's fabulous. I've been working, well, I've been here 14 years. And she was here when I came, so I'm not sure how long she's been at the college. She's fabulous. She has gone over and above for our students. If they have issues that she cannot handle, we will make sure they get to the proper person. We will not let a student leave our office not knowing what to do. That's not who we are. We will make sure they get where they need to go. Now, if a student comes to me and they need an x-ray, well, obviously I can't do an x-ray. I don't want to send them to the ER. I usually send students to Riddle ER. I know them there. They take great care of our students. But sometimes I think they really don't need the ER. I can't do what they need. So I have a relationship with Urgent Care on 202 in Chadds Ford. And our security will take them there. We'll save you guys a lot of money. Because when you go someplace else, you have to use your insurance and your co-pays. When they come to my office, it's free. Okay, so I really try, I worry about that money piece. I know that you guys are already paying enough to come. So they come to me. If I can't handle it, I can send them to urgent care. Now, are there things that need to go to the ER? Yes. Okay. Once or twice a year, I do have an appendicitis. Okay. And my husband had it, my son had it, so I'm really good at picking up on appendicitis, okay? And when I see it, they're out, okay? We get them right over there. And then usually, yes?
Does that relate to commuters or just resident students?
Both. All our students are welcome, okay? All of our students are welcome. Commuters sometimes will rather go home and tell mom and dad, but you know what, say, see Janet first, okay? okay? Save some money there, because then you have to get the appointment, do the copay. Commuters and residents, come see me first, okay? So if they do go to the ER, God forbid, and they have to have something done or they're admitted, usually, I'm at Riddle a lot, so usually I'll go and visit them even. Just so when they're there and they're scared, they'll see a familiar face, okay? We really try to take care of your students, and I especially, because first of all, I'm a nurse, so I'm caring. Oh, you know what? Starting young, aren't you? I have 3 children, 2 just got out of college, so I really know this age group, and I have one who's still in college, and might be for 4 or 5 or 6 years, but it's all good. He's moving at his pace, and that's what I tell students, move at your pace. Not everybody's a 4-year, and we want them to be, but our kids are individual, our children are individual. So my children all went to other colleges because they didn't want to come where mom works. Okay. And they've had not great experiences in the health center, where they go in and my son gets strep all the time, and he's saying it started overnight, I think I have strep, and they said, make an appointment, come back tomorrow. And he said, really? So of course he walked out and called me, came to see me. Yes, he had rip-roaring strep and an ear infection with it. So I said, wow, how can you make somebody come back the next day? You know? So I think about that. So when a student comes in, I think, how do I want somebody to treat my son or daughter? And I really think about that a lot. So that, you know, so I'm going to care for them. And I'll do whatever I can do. I will never send somebody away. Never, ever. Just so you know that. A lot of times students will come in and they have mom or dad on the phone, okay? So they come in with you guys. And that's okay with me. Because remember, when they're sick, they're regressing, okay, age-wise. It's like, Mom, what do I do? And you're at home saying, oh my God, I don't know. So they come in and I'll say, do I have your permission to talk to mom and dad? They always say yes. I've never had a student say no. What, are you crazy? So speakerphone's on and I'm talking and mom's talking and, you know, because remember, you know them better than I do. So sometimes you can give me a little piece of information that's going to make me think of something else or something else I can do, okay? And that's important. I'm really big on listening to my patients, listening to their families, because you know them better than I do. So that's okay. And if you call me later and say, was John in there today? He said he was going. I'll say, call John and ask him if he can talk to you. And chances are John will say yes. And I'll talk to you. Okay, they're your children. It's, you know, we were saying this, oh, they're in college, you can't know anything. They're your children. If somebody told me they couldn't tell me a health issue about my son or daughter, I'd go for it. I'd be like, what? You know, they're your children and I respect that. So I have my cards here. You can call me at any time. So just so you know, we take care of many, many issues. I will give them as much medications as I can. I do a flu vaccine clinic. I actually do many of them in October. Advise your students to get the flu vaccine. That's one of the things I do have to charge for. I just charge for the serum. It's $15. I'll try to keep it as low as I can. And if they're afraid of needles, they can come to me. I'll give it to them personally. I'm really good at calming them down. Tell them to come to me even if they're scared. A lot of times students get homesick. I handhold in September. A lot of students are homesick. That's okay. And that will pass. So I'm kind of like the surrogate mom. You know, I'll hold their hand, I'll pat their back, and, you know, I'll make them feel okay, because I know how that feels. So send them to me, even if they don't know what's wrong with them, because a lot of times I can key in on something. And either I'll take care of it, or I'll send them over to the wellness center for counseling. And they can talk the issue out. Okay? There's going to be a lot of stress. There's going to be a lot of anxiety. And that's going to show up like stomach aches, headaches, I'm tired, I can't get out of bed. All these symptoms. That's okay. We don't need to know what it is at first, but send them to me so I can talk to them. When they come to me, I look at it, but then I start saying things like, so how's your roommate? Any conflicts? That's a biggie. Okay, just so you know, there's no conflicts. How are you handling it? Did you go through the proper channels? So I kind of work with them. Or do you not like the food? That's okay. Well, let's think of other food choices to get you feeling better. You know, and I'll work with them and really try to find out the cause of the problem. Sometimes they're not really sick, it's that underlying issue. So encourage them to come see me. I will send them wherever they need to go to take care of them, okay? Now, so everybody's question is, so you leave, well, I leave at 5. Of course, I teach in the evening, so I'm usually around. What happens if my son or daughter gets sick in the evening? Oh my God. Well, when they were at home, what did you do? You usually maybe gave them Tylenol and said, let's wait till the morning. Most things can wait till the morning, okay? Here, you can call security. They are first responders. They will go to the room, they will do a mini assessment. They're not nurses, but they'll do an assessment. And they'll say, yeah, this needs to be sent out to Riddle. Or this can, this can wait till morning. Or they'll call mom and dad and say, what do you want to do? 99.9% wait till morning. And then they're sitting at my door when I come in. That's okay, all right? But just so you know, there's always somebody 24/7 that can respond to the needs of your children, okay? They're not left alone here. I know, has anybody met Sister Peggy? Has anybody met Sister Peggy? Okay. She is my direct boss, okay? She's amazing. And her thing is, we will always support your children. And she means it, and we mean it. So we're not just, that's not rhetoric. We mean it. So whatever we can do, we will. And we'll get the proper people to do it. The residence life staff's wonderful. And if, there are times a mom will call me and say, I can't get a hold of John. I think he's sick. Well, I call over to residence life, and they go knock on the door. John, are you okay? And sometimes John's not okay, but he can't get himself out of bed to come see me. So then I send security over, they pick them up, and they bring them to me. Okay, they're not going to be stranded over there. Now, there have been times where Johnny's sleeping in and doesn't want mom to know, and it's like, okay, call your mom, fess up to that, So it goes both ways, but you can always call me and voice your concerns, and I'll get to the bottom of it. And if I don't, Sister Peggy will. She's amazing when it comes to the students. Really caring, really supporting. The whole campus is like that. We don't want anybody stranded. And to really drive. Now, I've been doing a lot of talking. Questions? Yes?
Here is your office, and what time do you get in?
Okay, upstairs. Do we have any more campus? No. Upstairs, room 234, and I get in at 8:30. And I'm here till 4:30. Oh, thank you. But you know what? If a student calls me, some students do the teach or they're working, and they call me and they say, I'm off campus, but I'm really not feeling good. But I can't get there. I'll say, I'll stay till 5:30, 6 o'clock. I'll wait for them. We're not going to say no. No. So if there's, I make exceptions. I say 4:30, but I'm there till 5 and whatever. I'll come in later. I literally live around the corner. So sometimes they give me calls and I come running in and it's all good. It's all good. Other questions? Yes?
You had said after hours you then call security if they needed to, but don't they tell the RA first?
They can tell the RA, yeah, but then the RA calls security.
Right, but it's the RA
Depends on the
first.
severity.
Okay.
Yeah, but they can call the RA, and then she'll know to call the BC and the whole chain of command. But if somebody's having an asthma attack, and they have asthma, they know what's happening, you call security. Don't waste time, okay? So you can always call security first.
Is there a common number for security on this?
5555. Nice and easy. They can call security for any issue. Okay? Yes?
If the doctor's upon parent, will you do allergy shots?
I do allergy shots, yes, and thank you for bringing that up. If somebody's getting allergy shots from their allergist, they can bring me the serum. That's the one medication I hold in my office, because it has to be refrigerated. I will hold it in my office. I will talk to your son or daughter. What is son or daughter? Son. And tell him the hours the doctor's there. He has to come in when the doctor's there. That is a universal protocol. A doctor needs to be in the office when I give an allergy shot. And I used to work for an allergist, so that's how I know that. When they come in, they'll come in, we'll give them, usually I give them the shot, and then they wait for 20 minutes. Okay, make sure there's no reactions, and then we log it, and we'll communicate with your allergist. And that's free of charge. We still can do that. I'm happy about that. Another question?
Did the kids get this information?
Yes, they did. Many times. Well, they you know what, they're overloaded, and I get that. You guys are overloaded. You know, you've been talked at for 2 days, and even though I'm telling you things, you're going to forget. That's why I gave you this. And I do have a web page, as everybody in college does. So you can go on, and you go to Student Life, and then go to Health Services, and you can find out all kinds of information on my website. Okay? Yes?
Is it offer, and this may or may not have support for the wellness center?
Oh, tons. Tons, yes. And actually, one of the counselors is supposed to be here to talk to you.
Here.
You are, okay. So there's many, many support groups. So, yeah, you don't have to worry about that. And I'll let you speak to that in a minute. Am I hogging up what you know? I didn't know you were there. Any health services question? Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, yes, yes.
Question, do you have like a nebulizer for asthma?
I sure do. Because sometimes they have their own neb in their room, and they walk over, and all of a sudden they're short of breath. So, yeah, they come to me, and I give them a neb treatment. Okay? Well, thank you, guys. Thank you for letting us take care of your children. Okay? There you go. It's all yours.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Julia Love. I'm a wellness educator over at the Wellness Center, and that basically just means that we're an ambassador here on campus. We represent the Wellness Center in a positive light, and we do have hours over there at the desk. The hours, we are located right next to the Morena Center, all the way down on a little house, and the hours are 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. Now, if there is an emergency, it's similar. You can always call security, and usually they will call the director, Frederick Haas. He is always on call. He always has his phone on him. He will come to any emergency. We do have individual counseling, of course, needed to. When students come in, they will fill out a required form, and the last page will be their availability. You know, when they don't have classes, clubs, and the counselors will work with them to find a time that is available. You know, busy schedules. There's also groups such as Women's Worth, Dream Circle, Nights Against Addiction, things like that, a grief circle. We offer a lot, and those are weekly. We also have a wellness fair, which is just like produced by us. We offer healthy foods, healthy options. We always talk about healthy relationships because that's always, you know, an issue between roommates, significant others, and just people in general. It's a hard transition to be friendly with everyone when you get here. We are always at open houses. I'm sure you saw us a few times, our table, offering all our services. We have Cultivators of Care, which is new in the past couple years, and they are in the dorms, and that's usually one person per hallway, and they are there a couple hours during the week, and they sit in the study lounge or the open area, and if any kids want to come talk to them about whatever, it's kind of like similar to peer counseling. It's not as serious. If you just want to chit chat, complain about someone, they're there. What we have in the CCW is it is like a house. So there's a kitchen. So oftentimes when students are stressed out, and I've done this before, you just go in, you grab a snack. It's a very comforting place. If a counselor is available, maybe sit down with you and have lunch. We have a meditation room on the second floor. There are 2 offices located up there, but there's also a meditation room that they can go in. You log in. Usually an hour is the max. You can take a nap in there, listen to music. There's yoga mats. All of those are offered. And the group room is not just for groups. So when there is not someone there, they can go in there, put on a movie. They can study in there with their friends. We do welcome everyone. Sometimes kids don't have an appointment, or they may have one later in the week, and they just come and they sit because they need to. You know, it's away from campus a little bit. It's not as directly in everything. So like I said, the staff is full-time. They can always be contacted. We have 3 that are steady with us, so it's the director, Frederick Haas, we have Joanna Maddie, and Georgette Hall-Peterson. They are all great. Usually it just goes by who's free, by who your student or who your child will be signed up with. Sometimes if they do want to switch, if they feel like, you know, a certain vibe with someone, if they've had a nicer conversation, it's always an option. You're not stuck with who you get. So there are a few options of personalities, and they all do specialize in different things. So Joanna is really good with grief and like a loss of someone, also addiction. Fritz is really good with like mental illnesses and relationship conflicts, while Georgette is, now they can do everything, but this is like what they specialize in, and Georgette is really good with, she's also really good with relationships, and self-worth is what she specializes in with her counseling. And always, I have a few cards and I have pamphlets up here for what we do. And I have all 3 of their cards up here. They welcome you to call them. Now, ultimately, just like grades, your child has to approve to know like what they maybe talked about in session or what's going on with them. So you would have to go through your child mostly, but if you have any questions about the actual center, they will always answer those. Does anyone have any questions?
Thank you.
Yes. That's down in the arc on the ground floor. You can talk with Teresa. Yes.
Have you program actually cultivated here?
Yes.
What was the title?
Cultivators of care.
Cultivated. Are they upperclassmen that provide that service?
Yes. Yes, all the time. So they are trained with Georgette Hall-Peterson, and she does walk them through what would need to happen if it was severe, like if they were going to hurt themselves or someone else, or how to determine if it's a severe situation, or if they can just talk it out. And sometimes the cultivators of care do walk them over to the counseling center if need be in that moment or that.
And how's their availability to communicate it to the student? Does the student take RA and the RN working with?
There is, each hall, since it's a different person per hall, there will be a flyer for just that hall. Like, I know one of them is Angela Pesci, so Angela Pesci will be here Thursdays 2 to 8, you know.
On the flyer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Any more questions? No? Well, all 3 of their cards are up here. Feel free to call if you feel like I left out anything. Definitely email him. He really welcomes that. He's always willing to talk. Thank you for listening. Okay.